once the opportunity arose for him to close the show, he did it in emphatic style.
Whatever he hits falls.
I'm AHMED, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're in Las Vegas, Sin City. It's a Tyson Fury fight night. We will talk about Fury Wallin afterwards, but there's other things that we got to talk about, Frank.
Well,
so let's get cracking.
About a few things. Come, let's go.
Yeah. So last time I saw you was in Russia. Obviously, in the end, it was a disappointing night. But Anthony showed that he can mix it. He's got potential to mix it, anyways, at that world level. Have you spoken to him since that night?
No, he went away, but we're meeting when I get back.
Okay.
So we're going to sit down and have a meeting and work out what's happening for the future. But you know, he came out with a lot of credit out of that fight. He showed what he was made of, and with a little bit more experience, you know, he would be world champion. He was like, you know, probably 10, 15 seconds away from stopping Kovalev. But it is what it is, and we've got to move on. But one thing's for sure, he certainly has shown now to everybody what he's made of.
Yeah, definitely. We learned things about Anthony in terms of his chin, his heart. Obviously, he can bang as well at that level. But obviously, there were things that he's got to improve, etc.
Well, yeah, of course it is. I mean, it's like, you know, most things, you know, it comes with experience. But of course, there's room for improvement, and there's maybe other things he could have done in the fight. But it is what it is, and you've got to learn from that. And I'm sure that's what he'll do. I mean, he's no fool, and you know, we'll work together to ensure between all of us, you know, with him, with Tundi, the whole team, and plan for the future so that we can capitalise on his ability and what he's capable of doing.
I know you haven't spoken to Anthony, but have you spoken to Tunde?
No, I haven't, because we've been travelling myself, and as I say, you know, obviously we're out here now, not had a chance to sit down, and when I do, you know, when we do meet, I prefer to do things like that face to face, so we'll have a good chat, and we're all sensible people, and we do what we've got to do.
Just the last one on this, he did come under a lot of criticism Tunde for the instructions in the corner. Do you think it was justified criticism?
Well, you know, when he was winning, when, you know, Anthony's winning all these fights, he was a great trainer. That's how the public reacts sometimes. I mean, I've got to be honest, that's not a concern of mine. My concern is you know, moving forward for the whole team, and that's what we'll do between us, and we'll make sure that we learn from where we was at.
Okay. Another one of your fighters on your books, Daniel Dubois, destined for huge things. Obviously, he's got his fight coming up for a Commonwealth title. We expect him to come through that, but yeah, he's got. I'm sure
I hope he comes through. I don't know,
hopefully against Ebenezer.
Yeah. He's not a bad geezer, but anyway, he's fighting Ebenezer, and he's ready to roll. That's Commonwealth title. I think it's his seventh belt that he's gone for in his very short career. But yeah, he's doing extremely well. I'm really pleased with where he's at, and I think we're going to get a good night on the, a special night on the 27th. You know, he's definitely, it's a matter of time before we're here with him. It's a matter of time.
Yeah, I know it's very unrealistic to say now, but just for argument's sake, say he was in the ring with Anthony Joshua, say early next year, or Dylan White, or...
Wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
No, not a problem. The only one I think at the moment I wouldn't, well, he's got commitments anyway, is Tyson, because Tyson's, for me, he's the elite heavyweight in the world, and Daniel's still learning his craft. We know what he's good at doing, but it's still things that he can work on. What he showed in his last fight against Nathan, who again is an excellent young fighter, and hopefully he's going to be coming again, and we get him out before the end of the year. He showed what a good jab he is and how well he boxed, because everybody thought he was a one-trick pony, he could just bang, but he showed what a great jab he's got.
World-class jab.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Joe Joyce, he's been making a bit of noise. Well, Sam Jones has been making a bit of noise for him as always. Rumours going around that Jarrell Miller fight could potentially happen.
Well, we've talked to, Jarrell's been out on social media saying he wants to fight. Joe wants it, and we've been talking to his connections out here, and it seems they don't want it.
What, just point blank?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're not interested. So,
have any offers been sent? Or?
Yeah, we said to them that we want to try and do the fight. So it's really simple. It's the most simple thing ever. If Jarrell wants to fight, then tell these people to sort it out. We can do it in the UK or do it here, providing he's licensed. And he's got to get his licence this year. I don't know what's happening with that. They tell me that's all going to be resolved. He's come to the end of a ban. If he's licensed, then he can fight. If he's not licensed, then obviously he can't fight. But first of all, they got to sort that out. Hopefully, they will get it done. And if he is and I say hopefully, I mean, I'll be quite honest. I don't care whether he gets licensed or not. The fact is, he had a testing of positive for taking
free substances.
Yeah, free substances, or whatever he had. So, my view on that, I made it known. But if people are licensed because the governing bodies feel that they should be licensed, then that's up to them to. Then we'll use their services like anybody else would.
Another name that's been touted is Povetkin. With Joe, you've got two world-class heavyweights, Povetkin and Joyce-Miller, that he's been linked with. So it shows sort of the mind frame of Joe.
Well, it does, but with Joe, they frequently say because of his age, to turn pro late, didn't he? Was he like in the early 31, 32? That they want to move in quickly. He's got no problem, and he has actually fought at a good level. To
Jennings is
exactly. So the name of the game now is to get him a fight, and what we're looking to do is to put a big show together before the end of the year with all our heavyweights, including our new signings, our new heavyweight signings.
Quickly want to touch upon tonight's card back in London. Did you get to watch it on ESPN Plus or
I
BT?
see some of it. I've got to see because we were doing stuff with TV in it. I see some of it. I see half of the last fight. Ford. I see the last of that. Last of that. Sonny looked good. I see some of his
Heard he won every round.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good quality operator. He's a good little fighter, and I think. I really do think if he does what he keeps doing, which is learning and certainly doing what he does in the ring, he's got a great chance of winning the world title.
Frank, I do want to touch upon a fight that Eddie's putting on in Staples Centre. It's touted that Billy Joe and Devin Haney, two world-class fighters, are going to be on the undercard, and it's going to be headlined by two YouTubers. Your thoughts on that?
Well, look, last was when they had their first fight. We were, I was approached to get involved with it, and I didn't know what it was all about because obviously they're not amateur boxers, so I don't know who they. I'm being an old bastard. I didn't know, I'm not too much on the older YouTubers and who they were, but obviously they've got a tremendous following from what they do. They decided they want to have a fight. To me, it's just the equivalent of a white collar fight. Two guys fighting. They've not got amateur experience. They obviously would never have. They wouldn't have won an amateur title. That's for sure. That's what it is. It's like it is a white collar fight, and good luck to them to earning money out of what they're doing, providing it's medically supervised. And I'm sure it will be and looked after. I don't blame them at all for doing that. That's their choice and what they want to do. But as regarding serious boxing, of course it's not. We all know what it is. It is what it is. And you mentioned who's promoting it, Eddie Hearn. What changed from last year? What he had to say about them? What have they done since then? That's changed what they're doing.
What in terms of the fact that he said he wouldn't get involved with that sort of thing?
Well, I think he said he won't get involved with that sort of thing, and he also went on to say that he's a boxing man and he thinks it's wrong, etc., etc. Whatever he said, who cares? And at the end of the day, it's irrelevant to me. Who cares? I mean, let them get on with it. It is what it is.
I guess there's a debate going on though whether it's good for the sport or not. That happening as a main event at Staples Centre.
Oh, look, the last one happened. Did it affect boxing? No, it didn't. If anything went wrong, it would affect boxing because everybody would blame boxing. So please God, it doesn't. It doesn't affect. It won't affect boxing. All it affects is Hearn'S bank balance, but that's all he cares about, isn't he? You can tell that by most of the actions he's done recently.
Well,
maybe he needs the money gun by a couple of hard hats for when he gets to Saudi, or a couple of rocket launchers to blow those drones out that have blown all the oil facilities out over there.
We kind of heard that rhetoric about Mayweather-McGregor, and that was on that all these UFC fans are going to cross over to box.
But they were, look, we all know what we said. I watched the fight. I paid and watched it. I said I wouldn't, but I did it, and I watched that fight. I mean, I'm not going to pay to watch the YouTube fight because it doesn't have that appeal to me. I like to think I'm in boxing. I'm a boxing person, but the Mayweather, at least McGregor, he comes from a proper martial arts background. He's had fights in the ring, and he was the best at best at what he does in that field of contact sports. These guys are not. They are what they are. But that's great for them. They can go and make themselves a lot of money out of it, and people want to pay for it. Good luck to them. I don't knock that at all. Good luck to them. And, that's up to them. And if people want to buy it, that's up to them. No one puts their arm up their back and says, you will buy this. This is boxing. If you know anything about boxing, you know what you're buying.
When are we going to get promoters fighting?
What?
that would break pay-per-view records, wouldn't it?
I think it would. Yeah, I'm sure it would. Yeah, but you have to think about that one. Yeah.
All right, Frank.
Where are we going to put that one on? Will we take that to Saudi as well?
Don't know. Frank Warren, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Good stuff, mate.
And we'll catch up over after Tyson hopefully does the business against Big Otto. Cheers, Frank.
Once the opportunity arose for him to close the show, and he did it in emphatic style.
Whatever he hits falls.